In this video, I'm showing you guys the main controller settings that I've been using for the past month, which have made both my aim and piece control way better. And I'll give you a fair warning that these settings might not be for everyone, but for me personally, they have worked really well. Let's go ahead and start on the very first page because a lot of people do not have their settings optimized. The first one that I see as like kind of more important than the others is preferred item slot. This exact weapon loadout is probably one of the best that you can get. Your shotgun being in your first slot is always the most important. And then I go SMG consumable item, either a sniper or a bow, or typically it's another consumable item. And the last slot is always my AR. With this loader, you can go straight from your shotgun right to your SMG, and you can also go straight from your shotgun to your AR. Then for building, all four of these are actually pretty important. And specifically the confirm edit on release, a lot of people for some reason just think that you can't edit fast with this on. But I mean, that is literally just not true at all. A ton of pros use this. I think that overall, it just kind of simplifies editing and makes it a lot easier to do. And then for the rest of this tab, you can copy all of that. Now for gyro settings, I honestly do not recommend using them whatsoever. I know some people like to use them for fun, but if you're specifically trying to get better at the game, then these are just not gonna help you. Now we come to the actual main controller options tab. This is where all the major settings are gonna be. First of all, I don't personally like auto run. It messes me up more than it helps me. Build immediately, you should definitely have on. Edit hold time literally doesn't matter as long as you have a bind that's specifically just set to edit. The only reason that setting would ever matter is if you have a bind set to switch mode and edit, which I do not recommend at all. That will literally make you so much worse at the game. Then these newer camera settings, they're not really helpful at all. Just the default is fine, which is pitch in 0.1. And vibration should definitely be off. Vibrations like rumble your controller when you're building or when you're aiming, and that can throw off your crosshair precision a ton. So vibrations off, and then the next two options are blocked out right now because I have use advanced options turned on. However, in my last video, I did go in and I tested this on 1 versus 10, and I actually felt a difference between the two. So although I'm not completely positive if it truly does affect your controller sensitivity, just to be safe, you can go ahead, turn advanced options off, set both of these to 4, and then go back and turn advanced options back on. Then for both my build and edit multipliers, I keep it at a 1.9, and that pairs with the look sense really nicely, which is 46% on both horizontal and vertical with 0 boost. Then down to ADS sensitivity, I keep both my horizontal and vertical at 10% with 0 boost on that as well. There's a 0-second look damaging time, and these settings are all on exponential. I've been on exponential now for almost a whole month at this point, and especially on these specific settings, I just find exponential to be way better than linear. A lot of people aren't gonna like that. Most players do prefer linear, and I will say that linear is more like satisfying to play on because it's a lot smoother. On exponential, typically players are a bit more stiff and it almost makes their gameplay look like choppy, whereas with linear, it's almost like you're on mouse and keyboard where it's like really flowy. However, on exponential settings, I've just found that I've been way more consistent with every single aspect of the game. I feel like my aim, and specifically my medium to long range aim, is so much better on exponential. And honestly, the same thing can be said with my shotgun and SMG aim. It's not quite as like flashy with linear. Like on linear, you can definitely get better clips, but I'm talking specifically about just trying to be better at the game. Even with my builds and edits, I just feel like my builds and edits are more consistent. I hit more of them more often, and I feel like I can also typically get harder edits done better on exponential compared to linear. Then as for my reasoning why I use 0 boost, I feel like on exponential, boost isn't needed because the exponential look curve almost already does that. An exponential graph looks like this, so it starts off really slow, which that really slow part is why making super tiny adjustments on exponential is way easier than linear. And so I feel like on exponential, you really just don't need boost. Then there is one more setting, which is dead zones, and I keep my dead zones for basically every controller I have at 10%. I feel like 10% for most people is going to work pretty well. However, all controllers are different and a lot of people have issues with their analog sticks. I know some pros go all the way down to 5%, but like this specific controller, I just can't do that because I'm not touching my sticks right now, but my character is still moving because my dead zones are way too low. I would say a range of 7 to like 15% is probably good. Anywhere in there and you should be fine so long as you don't get stick drift. Then my last video, a lot of people were really interested with my binds. However, I do need to say that these binds are only good if you have a 4-paddle setup. Certain controller settings kind of work well for everybody, but the best binds are going to completely depend on the type of controller and grip that you use. The main grips are a standard right hand claw, there's double claw, there's 2 paddles, there's 4 paddles, and then there's no claw, no paddles. So there's specific binds that'll work best for each one of those 5 different setups. If you're interested, I have made a video talking about the best binds for every single controller setup, and I'll make sure to link that in the description as well. However, I've been talking a lot about controller settings, but I really haven't even proved that that these settings are good at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and go queue up into a game to show you guys why these really are such great settings. I personally think the best part about these settings is the aim, so I'm gonna test that in a no builds game. Oh, bro, so easy. Recently, I did actually take a look and make a comparison between 25 of the top controller pros, and basically what I did was figure out who played on linear and who played on exponential. Let's go. In that, what I found was about 1/3 of all pro controller players use exponential. So the majority are definitely on linear, but there are quite a few pros that are really good on it, with the main example being reet. No way, what a flick shot to end it off. That is the perfect way to end my game of no build, showing off this beautiful aim. Another thing about exponential is it kind of caters better towards new players. Like when you first install Fortnite and you plug in a controller, your controller settings are on exponential. And I definitely think that Fortnite got it right there, because I think for the large majority of casual controller players, they will be better players on exponential. Let's go. I don't think I missed a shot right there. I really feel like I can have confidence in basically like every single shot that I take, which is really just not something that I was able to do on linear. Let's go. I feel like my only rotate strat is zipline. Here, let's see if it works. Let's go, bro. The aim, all even down to the wire, it's so good. That's a no builds and a builds game, one back to back. I mean, genuinely, at this point, if you don't believe me that these settings are good, I don't know what to tell you. Remember to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and I hope to catch you in the next one.